Good luck. I don't think he's 100% back to the player we saw balling out last year. The matchups that are forthcoming here in week number 9, and one of the first things I do would be to look at the alignment numbers and look at the wide receiver corner matchup. So let's go right there, as we always do on a Wednesday, and we start with the good. We always want to start on a positive note. These are players that we might be in on for their prop. I'll start with Josh Downs. Love Josh Downs. I mean, what else can I say? Awesome player, awesome dude as well. As I've always mentioned, his father played in the NFL. His biggest problem is something that I addressed with him when I interviewed him in India. I was like, bruh, you got to stop putting your body on the line so much. You're a baller, and I love it, but you're not a big man. And he's like, I hear you. I know. And that's totally played out. So that's the only downside to Josh Downs, man. He is awesome. As I told our producer, Michael Cohen, I don't know how much college football he watches, by the way. One of the reasons I like Demario Douglas is because Drake May loved Josh Downs at North Carolina inside. He peppered my man with targets. Downs was awesome that year, by the way. I think he scored 11 touchdowns for North Carolina, all from Drake May. So Drake May loves throwing to an inside slot receiver. But Josh Downs will be on Byron Murphy, the former Cardinal, who's been bad all year. Straight up. He's been pretty bad. He's given up 0.36 fantasy points per route run, which is a good number. You know, I've been skeptical of Malik Neighbors. I leaned last week, this past Monday, toward the negative, and he hit it. He hit the over. Barely, though. I mean, it was close. This week, I don't even know what it is, but I'm going over because it's a good matchup against Benjamin St-Juste. And when you're up against St-Juste, you yourself have a lot of juice, basically. 0.35 fantasy points per route run. They have been playing more man. Good luck with that, guys. Stopping Malik Neighbors with their personnel, because it's been scheme-based with Dan Quinn. Give him credit. They're doing a hell of a job, but not going to stop Malik Neighbors this week. CeeDee Lamb, you're not going to stop him as well. He's going to see D. Alford, who has been giving. I mean, this is a guy that just pretty much every week I'm like, who's up against D. Alford this week? My daughter is a freshman in college at SCAD in Savannah College of Art and Design. Actually, D. Alford himself paid for her first semester by me advocating receivers against D. Alford. So I'm going to do it again. And CeeDee Lamb drops 100 this week on Mr. D. Alford. Terry McLaurin will probably also drop 100. He'll probably make another big play this week against Greg Stroman because they have benched Deonte Banks, who we have been picking on and getting results with our picks. So McLaurin, they play a lot of man. That's what you want with McLaurin, period. Going downfield, pass rush is okay, but Jaden Daniels is getting the rock, needless to say, to Terry McLaurin. And then also, here's a guy that I lost a prop last week. Now, he did get a little banged up, and he missed, it was like 8 or 9 snaps, but I believe they were throwing at the time. I can't even remember, but I'm still bitter that I lost it. But, you know, sometimes you got to give credit to the defense. You know, there are 11 people and a whole coaching staff over there getting paid very good money to stop our guys trying to get these overs. But I'll go back to the well this week. I mean, I'm not officially going to do it, but I see right now the number for DJ Moore is 54.5. I like it. I mean, Starling Thomas has been very giving all year, even dating back to last year, quite frankly. Those are the good ones. I actually have a couple of others that I will pop out. I'd mentioned Josh Palmer. That would be good if obviously Denzel Ward is out. I mean, digging deep, you want to dig real deep. I kind of like Mason Tipton. Granted, I never heard of Mason Tipton a month ago, but I do kind of like him because Mike Jackson would probably be the corner there, the matchup, and he's given up a lot, 0.41 fantasy points per route run. Carolina defense not very good. Christian Watson, if Love goes, he was a little bit more involved last week. He'll see a lot of Carlton Davis. And again, Amari Cooper, Cam Smith has given up a lot. 0.44 fantasy points per route run, but Cooper out of practice today with a bad wrist. Also, Garrett Wilson, like this one a lot. Jalen Petrie has been pretty giving, although I guess he's getting a little bit better. Now, let's go to the bad ones real quick. And Calvin Ridley kind of leads the way here on the heels of a massive game. And by the way, Christian Gonzalez has not been a very, very scary matchup this year, but Calvin Ridley has been a scary proposition, to be fair. The quarterback play is not very good. The offense not very good. I mean, Ridley's only had, 2 good games all year, so I'd have to lean toward the negative here with Gonzalez likely traveling and shadowing Calvin Ridley. Speaking of shadowing, welcome to Baltimore, Deontay Johnson. Meet Patrick Surtain, because he's going to be on your back hip the whole day, most likely. Surtain still stingy as hell, giving up 0.15 fantasy points per route run. Just to put that into perspective, Christian Gonzalez, I believe, is good, and he's given up 0.32. So that is more than half. So Surtain is twice as good, basically, as Christian Gonzalez on a per snap basis. Tank Dell, good luck Thursday night. The problem with Tank Dell is I don't think he's 100% back to the player we saw balling out last year. I mean, he did have that surgery, and of course the man got shot, and he's going to see a lot of sauce. I don't know if he, likes his food dry. I personally love extra sauce on my pasta, but not here. Sauce Gardner, he's human this year, but still giving up 0.20 fantasy points per route run. Here's a prop that I almost went in on last week, and I'm glad I did not, because it did not win. Tyreek Hill. This week, it's down a little bit. And by the way, Tyreek came very close. It's down to 75.5. I don't know if I can go under, but I'm definitely not going over, because he'll see a lot of Christian Benford, who is just good. And a lot of that is scheme over there for the Bills. But Tyreek, he's Tyreek, but he probably isn't going off against Buffalo. They keep everything in front of them, and they're very tough on the outside. Cooper Kupp is made the bad list, if you will. I think he'll see a lot of Witherspoon there for Seattle, who is good. Kupp was running those short intermediate routes. I mean, Puka Nacua in week number 8 on Thursday night looked like the one. He looked like the alpha. The offense, passing offense, kind of went through him. So I'm not so sure this week about Cooper Kupp. A couple of other ones here. Marvin Harrison, and we were correct to predict a Jalen Ramsey shadow. Now, I'm not totally sure it was a full shadow, but all I know is this: Harrison did make plays on Ramsey. So he was on Ramsey quite a bit. And speaking of Ramsey, maybe he'll look to vow vengeance this week on Khalil Shakir, because Ramsey does line up inside quite a bit. And speaking of inside, I actually liked Jackson Smith and Jigba. I made him an official play on Sunday at fantasypoints.com. He hit. It was great. But Josh Wallace, I mean, the Rams don't give up anything inside. They are a perimeter funnel. Speaking of good numbers here, like Jalen Ramsey, for example, 0.17 fantasy points per route run. This Wallace dude is 0.08. That is pretty frightening stuff there. So not a good week for JSN. Might be a Tyler Lockett game, by the way, if DK Metcalf cannot play.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now, absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at zero cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.